Hey, 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 this is Cala Stadel and Michael Stoller. I am so excited. I mean, what's been happening right now with the Gut Collective and this one message and the excitement that, there's a lot of people taking a look, there's a lot of people coming back. It's just interesting that whether we want to sell all the things or not, us having this one simple message is going to be big. But the reason that I wanted to get Michael on here is because we have the recording in here that Lacey did last Saturday, which I wish I knew the date of. But I wanted us, I'm a visual, and I know a lot of times for you guys to realize what tools are available so you can actually see it and understand why, what the integrity and what we have at our fingertips. And literally, I got this vision of like, okay, not vision, but it's like I want to have 100 people. And I was saying, on the Gut Collective on subscription on my front line. It's like I realize over time with what we have in this simple messaging that we're going to be able to do that. And whether they're, Madison changes, she goes, I just want to have 100 people on my front line that are on subscription, and that's perfect. But I really feel like because of where our society is right now, the education that's out there about the power of gut health, and the fact that we have the best of the best of the best, and this is just a clean, simple message. It's like what you said before. It's like I'm showing up different, and it's because I know we now have a great track for business builders and for customers. We have it all. And so I wanted Michael to do this because he's so detailed, so great, and so techie. And I, first of all, just want to lay out there, thanks so much for everybody that's doing it. I mean, I am watching people show up in a way that I haven't seen. And so I love that. And I love, the fact that Lacey and you and Michaela and Sheila and Jamie, I mean, just the list goes on of the people, but the stuff that you guys have brought is so big. So what we're going to do is kick off, and I think we'll end up starting, Michael.
Mhm.
I mean, why don't you just tell everybody who you are really quick first?
Well, Michael Stoller. I am an executive with my wife, Lauren, and systems are my jam. So Lacey and I have become fast friends through this process in the last few weeks. I did not realize how similar we are from a business perspective, and us putting our minds together have been pretty amazing. But I have to also say that what I'm going to be showing you guys tonight, I'm just your tour guide. My part in this isn't necessarily as much of this portion. The group, the Facebook group was a collaboration of several people, but especially Lacey. She spent a lot of time and energy as like kind of the point person, the project manager, if you will, to put this together. So the objective tonight is obviously for us to come together and have this recording moving forward so that we can bring some simplicity, because that was the intention with this from the jump. It's time to simplify because it's time for us to buckle up and run really, really fast. I've been here 6.5 years. I have been in this network marketing profession for 18 years. I've been in utter failure for most of them, but Xyngular is where I began to experience really amazing success. And I have six figures of reasons why it's worked out pretty well over the last 6.5 years. And but I'm also amped to blow this up bigger than ever. So super privileged to be here tonight to do this and excited to share.
And I am so excited. So these are the resources we have. We have the landing page, thegutcollective.com. It's all going to be in the title, all of the things that you need to know, the links to. We've got the Facebook page, which is, that page, thegutcollective.com, is for anyone and everyone and is for prospects. Then we have the Facebook page. This is what I want to say because I love it that we're wanting, first of all, unity is the big thing. And I'm just going to say it, whether you like it or not. It's like, we're not battling with flesh and blood. There's always things where people, there's things coming against us. And it's like the biggest power that you can have in a family, that you can have in a business, that you can have in Xyngular is unity. And so I love the fact that we're coming together. Now we all have to love, honor, respect. And so having this group, I want you to know, one, if you're going to have people in it, is definitely not a group to dump people in like a results page. period. It is for customers and brand partners, and it's for customers that are on the Gut Collective. And there are going to be questions, that they need to answer to get in. Now, secondly, I'm going to tell you how I want you to be doing it. It's like, first of all, I know Lacey doesn't work on Sundays. I just took that back on myself. And it's because I know how this goes. We have to be able to rest, and we have to be able to, we're going to be able to, back in the spring, I know that God laid on my heart, I'm going to be able to build bigger, stronger, faster. And this is what this is. And I didn't know what that was going to be. I just knew it was going to be. So this is a piece of that. So when you're going to invite someone to the group, one, you need to make sure they're a customer on the Gut Collective, or they're an ex-brand partner. Two, you need to invite them. And that helps us keep the integrity of the group, because we know who it was that was invited. So if there's any questions, we can go back to you, and that's the way you want it, right? And then once you've invited them, you need to share the actual link to the Facebook group to their messenger, so that when they go there, they go and answer the questions. There's 2 questions if they're a customer, there's 2 questions if they're a brand partner, and it's either or that you're going to be doing. So just make sure that you do that. And then after that, you're going to be tagging those new people in the welcome letter, so that they can know how to navigate the group and get the full benefit out of the buffet. So I'm actually going,
I'm sorry,
what?
I don't mean to interrupt you. I just want to add one quick thing that's really important. Do not go to that welcome that's on the featured post at the top. It's the only featured post until the person you've invited is in the group. And that might take a second. It may not be in a matter of minutes, because they may not see it right away. Typically you get a notification, but you can check going to the members. But if you go and tag someone and it doesn't tag them, and it ends up being this light gray with their name, that means they're not in the group and they are not going to see the tag. So just delete the comment and hold tight and try again a little later, because if you're tagging everyone and they are not seeing the tag, that's going to create confusion. And the whole point of this is simplicity. Sorry to interrupt.
No, that was not interrupting, but that is exactly what the deal is. So then there's a Facebook group, which you're going to take us through. The tour guide. I love it. And it's going to be visual. Then we have the board that Jamie did amazing with. And she's also, I guess, going to be doing a training and take you through everything that's in there. And then finally we have Telegram, which, how cool is it to be seeing these people that have been getting on? I mean, just today, Chuck Smith, he's on the road. He just added the products and it was 9 or 11 pounds. Who is the other person that it's there's been a ton of them, but someone else today that I was just hearing about, I'm like, I love this, because this is getting to the root of the issue. So I'm actually going to, I guess we'll turn it over to speaker view so that you can start the guide, and then I'll pop back in. We're going to start with a Facebook group. And that's really what we're going to do. But I do want people to see the boards, and I do want them to see Telegram. All right. Okay, signing off. Not really, but I'm going to be in the background.
No problem. So we're going to hope that our technology cooperates. So bear with me while I set this up. I'm doing this from my phone. I do have an iPhone. So those of you that are Android users, no hate, please. So this will still be very similar. The reason we're doing this from my phone is because realistically, most of us are doing this from our phone. So got this opened up. This is what it looks like when you go into the group, and you're going to see, and for some people can be a little bit different, but for most people, you'll see under where it says invite, it says guides. That's going to be important. This is going to come up. There are going to be people that you're going to tag on this welcome post that might not be super savvy with a Facebook group, and they might not be able to identify where these guides are. So I want to make sure that we all definitely know. Now, in some cases, depending on where you're at with updates on Facebook, sometimes those 3 little bars up in the upper right is where the guides are located for some people. So if you're noticing underneath the invite button that nothing says guides, then that might be where you need to check. Most people should see it right here like mine. It should look like mine. You're going to notice here where it says featured at the top, and you see that we have Lacey Friends post. Notice there's nothing more, guys. It's just this post. And I'm actually going to click on it for just a quick second. And I'm going to scroll down for a second, and I'm not calling anyone out by any means, but I just want you to see Kathy Stewart here 10 hours ago. See how that's like a faint gray where it says Pat Evans? Just using this as an example, and we're all learning here. So again, no judgment, but I just want to make sure we're on the same page. Notice above where it's blue and it's linked versus where it's gray. That's what we were just talking about, what Cal was just mentioning. You have to make sure that they have made it into the group before you tag them here, because this verbiage up here is explaining what to do if you're a customer and what to do if you're a brand partner. It's giving them the exact instructions. So you have added them to the group, you have tagged them on this featured welcome post, and then you're going to shoot them a message, ATM. You're going to shoot them a message, get back into your chat with them and let them know, I just tagged you on the welcome post. You know, keep an eye out for that tag, check it out. Let me know what questions you have. But what's going to be great, and I'm going to show you here in a second, is that we're helping to automate our business with this system. So let me go back for just a second. And I'm going to click on guides. We're going to go in here and just kind of start to go through and show you a little bit about what's here. I actually find that the easiest thing to do, you're going to see here at the top, guide 1, customers. Guide 1 and 2 are really generally the only guides that your customers are going to need. But as we go through this, what you're going to notice, and you've probably noticed, is that as you go down the guides, all of a sudden there's affiliate stuff here. And you might be asking, like, why are they both here? Well, they're both here for a very strategic purpose. And that's because a lot of times people start scrolling and looking at information, even if they've come in as a customer, and they start browsing and they start seeing what's here. And it might not mean anything right now, but it also means that there are seeds being planted. When they start getting amazing results with this, and it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. We all know that. We're going to be able to circle back because the seed has been planted on the landing page in a really effective way, both with the verbiage as well as listening to what Jana has to say, as well as the intro video at the top with Lacey, where she's planting the seed about that. And they have the ability to see it. And here's what's awesome. When you then have a happy customer and you convert them, you're going to be able to have access right in this exact same group to once again have them go through the guides to begin to better understand the tools that are here. But I just want to explain kind of the framework, but let me kind of go back to the top. So in guide 1, I'm going to click on this very first step 1, and it's walking them through. What's great here is it's just like we've talked about before, it's explaining that you can approach this a couple different ways. You can do this as like a more fast, strict program, or what we're finding is that the majority of people are going with option number 2. And they get to decide that. And as they scroll on, that's where this is going to help and explain and give them the resources. Again, this is making it much more possible for people to just roll through. Again, this is automating. Imagine now that this is explaining the next steps for a brand new customer to go through and understand what to do. So again, they're going to keep scrolling down. We have access to the link for the email that they're going to be receiving, because we know some people maybe don't check their email as often, or maybe they missed it. They're going to be able to have access to that right here. So as we scroll down again, and it's talking about everything they need to do to get prepared. Take that gut check. It's explaining to them right here about taking photos, doing the gut check, taking some measurements. So it's helping to walk them through those first steps. But notice, you don't necessarily need to be spoon feeding it. Obviously, you're going to sometimes have those customers that need to be a little more spoon fed. There's going to be those customers that you may have to go into the guides and start tagging them on guides because they're just not navigating it as well. But realistically, that's not going to happen with every single person. So you're just scrolling down. It's literally that simple. It's all like in this chronological, brilliant order to be able to explain. You'll see here, I'll click on this for just a second. It has the diagram just like we've seen before, but it also has explanation of how to best take these measurements. It's giving those tips and tricks right here, right inside the guide. Let me go back one. And notice again, see how it says comment? You can technically tag people in these posts inside of the guides. So if people are having trouble navigating, maybe they're not super tech savvy, this is totally fine. Ideally, we want to tag them on the welcome post and have them be able to kind of self-navigate. But we all know that not everyone is that personality. Some people are not going to be that. And just know that if you need to tag them on specific posts inside of these guides, you're not doing anything wrong. Ideally, in the best case scenario, that's kind of automated. But in reality, some people, that's just not going to be as much the case. So as we make our way down, we've got option one. We already explained when we were at the top what option one looks like. This is going to give a jumpstart plan. I'm going to click on it for just a second. It's going to give a jumpstart plan using the products that we're promoting here for the Gut Collective. So just to be clear too, just to kind of add, just in case you've missed it, the idea is you want to invite people here that are using the Gut Collective or are using maybe an assortment of the products within the Gut Collective. Like if you have someone that's getting started on one of the weight loss systems, at least for now, that may change in the future, for simplicity's sake, you probably still have a customer group that's awesome. And we want to deviate from that because they're getting a nutrition guide and plans. Like you don't want to have them be told one thing and what they're getting in their box and then add them somewhere else where it might create confusion. So just remember that what we're trying to do here is really, this is for people that are business-wise leading with the Gut Collective, customer-wise that are using the Gut Collective, or maybe they're using an assortment of it. Even if it's one product in the Gut Collective, I actually think that this is still a great place to invite them to see these resources and get some exposure and hear some stories from people that are using some of the other products in the collective at the same time, because they're very quickly going to get FOMO. But again, this explains that 8-day jumpstart. It gives them the tips. It's all right here. It gives them the food list. And guess what? You might have some people that say they want to do this slow and steady, but they might ask you, hey, do you have like a food list that would kind of help give me some guidance? Tag them right here in the comment. You can actually go and tag them on this food list. This is a great guide that gives a lot of direction. Maybe someone, said they want it to be kind of more laid back, and then they decide that they want a little bit more guidance. So you have to maybe think about that and maybe tag them along the way. If there's resources here in the guide, that's going to be helpful for your specific customer, depending on what you have going on. Again, this is a little bit more with the food list. But as we scroll on, then it shows option two. So with option two, this is kind of the more slow and steady casual approach. We're still giving some coaching, some tips. So you're going to see here that it talks about things like if you want to do intermittent fasting, if you want to look to prioritize protein or do low carb or keto. What's wonderful about this is that we're not stuck to like one way of eating. If someone wants to continue doing whatever eating plan they're doing and do this, they can do that. And this is what that's explaining. So there's different options that they can kind of choose from. And guess what? They also, as you can see on number 6, any plan that you have had success doing currently or in the past and sticking to it. So if that means that your plan is that you don't really have much of a plan and that works for you, fine, for that customer. But the other cool thing is, maybe in a few weeks, once they've used the products, they're noticing that they're feeling good. And they're like, maybe I kind of want to turn up the volume on the weight loss side of this. And maybe they start to transition to wanting to see more of these resources. And you have this right here. You can just tag them or direct them back to it where they can go through the guide and be able to access these resources. Okay. Won't go through all of this, but you're going to see that there are some graphics that go along with what was above in terms of intermittent fasting. Like this is an intermittent fasting plan that some people have used with the Gut Collective. So we've got some resources here, some other stuff on intermittent fasting. So take some time yourself to also go through and become familiar. Like this is your business. Take ownership of the tools that are available, because no doubt this is going to be super, super, super helpful. Again, low carb versus like macros and things of that nature. it's all here. We're putting it all in one place to keep things really, really simple. Let me go back a screen. Again, as we keep scrolling, now it's talking about subscription. It's talking about, how to go about setting that up. It talks about the benefits of it. Now, does this mean that you shouldn't be talking to your customer about subscription? Absolutely not. That is your responsibility to do that before they order, when you're touching base with them. Like, what we're trying to do here is make the coaching process significantly less labor intensive on product, so that you can focus on building up leaders and building up your business and cheering people on and doing the stuff that's fun. Now, maybe for some of you, it's really fun to like coach someone through a detox for 8 days. I don't know about you. For me personally, been there, done that, got the t-shirt, kind of want to be able to put some of this on more autopilot so that I can just focus on people having a great experience and then opening up their network and getting some unique accounts and building some new legs. I don't know. But you want to make sure to revisit that subscription conversation for sure. But that's there. Okay, as we move on, guide 2 is also for customers and affiliates. You're going to see Maddie's awesome video. So basically, in a nutshell, what you're finding in guide 2 is more product knowledge. So for the customer that wants to learn a little bit more, maybe they didn't watch the video on the landing page for whatever reason. I don't know why they wouldn't, because it's amazing. But as you scroll down, you're going to see more product information. So for that person that's like the researcher, that's like wanting all this information, they can look at it. And for the brand partner, this is a great place where they can educate themselves about the product as well. Because, I mean, I'm not saying you have to know every single finite thing, but at the bare minimum, what do you need to know? What does the product do? What are the benefits for someone? Do you need to know all the features? No. But this is your business. So at a certain point, you do need to take some ownership of having some of that knowledge. And if not, know where you can find information like this right here in this guide to be able to use it. Did want to draw attention to just a couple of specifics in here that I believe Maddie put together. These are some amazing, amazing graphics. So these are just really, really helpful to better understand the science behind each of the steps, each of the products that are being used here, to help you better understand. I'm a visual learner, so I know for me, or for Cala, who's also mentioned being a visual learner, these are really, really helpful. So as people start to get results, they might start to be a little more inquisitive about understanding, like, how is this really doing this? So we want to make sure that we're covering all of our bases to provide that education piece in these guides as well. Moving along, because I could probably talk forever and we don't want to do that. Okay. Moving along. Now it talks about your testimony. You probably, if you're already in the Telegram, which we're going to touch on here in a few minutes, you'll see that these graphics were shared. I actually made these just a few days ago because I got inspired. And so if you saw these being shared, we want you, as you start to see your story unfold, or if it's already begun to unfold, use these graphics. Put your testimony on them. They're both story size. That's on purpose because it's meant to be shared in stories. If you want to share it somewhere else, go for it. The one on the left obviously has photos included. The one on the right is maybe someone had such a long testimony that it's going to be 2 story slides. Or also consider that not everyone's gut collective results are a visual that they can show. Some people might not have a lot of weight to lose, but they're having some serious digestive problems that this might help to provide some benefit. And we want to hear from those people too. Or consider this. How many of you have had people that you attempt to get them to share, and they are completely adamant that they are not sharing photos of themselves on social media or on the internet? Okay, well, a well-written testimony can go pretty far, even if it doesn't have those photographs. So make sure to use these. Make sure to share them once you've created them in the Telegram, because we want to create as many of these stories as possible. The reason we created these graphics is to brand the Gut Collective Club. We want people to be thinking of us when it comes to weight loss and gut health, and the Gut Collective Club is literally being marketed in that way, from a money standpoint, from a being able to help them with those, those kind of benefits, but that's what that's there for. Going down, it talks a little bit more about results. and kind of go through that. There's a whole bunch that are being shared in there, and there's also even more that have begun to be shared in the Telegram. Excuse me. More product information. If you haven't watched Cala's training that she did with Diana last week, it was absolutely phenomenal. It had so much interesting information about gut health, about these products, what makes them unique. It really helped to better understand our value proposition. So if you haven't watched it, go check it out. But this is here so that, again, the new person who is a brand new partner is able to watch this and have a better understanding. And a customer who's more inquisitive that wants to dive a little bit deeper is able to do that. And they're hearing from someone who is a practitioner, who has some science education behind what she's sharing. And that gives us even more credibility. As we scroll down, there's an ingredients list. Again, some people are going to need that. Some of your prospects might need that specifically when they're looking into this. We've put it together all on one sheet to make this super easy for sharing. This is also available in the boards, I believe. And then as we scroll down, and I'll kind of just breeze through this a little bit, but with guide 3, this is the section about affiliates. So as you start to go through, you want to go through this chronologically because it's going to help to show you everything you need to know. It's going to arm you with some statistics about the industry, about gut health, about weight loss, about probiotics, about prebiotics, to arm yourself with some data. Do you need to know this right out of the gate as a brand new brand partner? No. But is this good information as you're creating content to really add some value and give yourself some credibility? 100%. Again, if you're bringing on a new brand partner, obviously your job is to be here as their mentor and guide them through this. So don't just expect someone to just kind of roll through these guides and not be in touch with you through this entire process. Make sure that you're still doing that just like we've always done before. But this is just kind of helping you in that onboarding process. I'm sure for many of you, you've gotten frustrated where like you have this new brand partner and you're not 100% sure of like what to do next. This is helping to give the framework of exactly what to do next. And while as we're scrolling through this, you might be like, wow, this is a lot of content in these guides. What I want you to understand is they're not looking at everything all at once. What we're doing is providing everything in one place to keep it simple. Does everyone need to know every single little detail of this? No, not at all. But when they do have a question or they need information, it's all in one place. Talks a little bit about follow-up and the importance of follow-up. A lot of us have different follow-up systems. I know on my team, we use what's called the 137 follow-up system. I know a lot of people do different things. I would just suggest that whatever your follow-up system, follow your leader. Follow your, whoever your leader is who will help guide you through that. This kind of talks about the importance of it and kind of what to do when it comes to getting them information and overcoming objections. A lot of what you're seeing here is also available in the guides, in the boards, which I'll show you here in just a quick second. Just kind of scroll down a little. These are just all objections. Hopefully I'm not making anyone seasick. It goes into payment plans and kind of talking about that. Again, this is information that's available at your fingertips in the board, enrollment links. So this is all in these guides now. It's showing someone how to get them information, how to overcome those objections. It's walking them through that entire process. How to make an enrollment link. Everything that you could ever need to point a new person, like if you need to point a new person to a tool, this is the tool all in one place. It's literally like the encyclopedia of building your business as someone who's leading with the Gut Collective. Again, it's just taking you through. I'm not going to go through every single detail, but I just want you to kind of see that it's all the steps. That's what's here. It's now talking about, those daily things that you should be doing to build your business, all right here. It's talking about content. It's talking about how much content. There's some great, let me scroll down here for just a second. So I know that with this, there's a couple different examples here. This particular one where it says weekly content planner, I think this is something that Maddie has used with her team before, I believe. And that's something that they've kind of used this along with like their gut flow. Like she's talked about, you don't want to get onto your stories every single day and just like talk about the gut glow specifically. Some days you're mixing it up while you're talking about what you're doing today or what you did yesterday or telling a story or whatever. And this kind of helps to give you some ideas of what to be talking about when doing that. Now, this graphic, actually, I had Lacey add in here just to give you a quick story here. This is actually Jessie Lee Ward, Boss Lee's Facebook content planner. I got this from her a while ago. And this is something that she was coaching on for the last few years. And for whatever reason, I actually got away from following it. And in the last like 3.5 weeks, I got really consistent with this. And my Facebook page is like insane. It's like blowing up. Like there's so much engagement. And a lot of it is just me using this. So it's made it really, really simple. So if you're someone who has trouble with that, this is a great resource, as well as the one above that I just showed you. And that's pretty much everything oh no, that's not everything, sorry. As we scroll down, it just kind of gets more into some of the math. I don't want to run too long, but as you scroll, basically every single resource that you need is going to be right here. We've talked about finding your five. It's talked about in Jana's video, it's talked about, let me scroll back up, in this graphic right here. That's the simplicity. That's the simplicity. We help people find those five initially, and that's like the building block to keep it super, super simple. And this walks you through that. Social media guide, it has that here to be able to walk someone through all of that. And what's great for a brand new partner is as they work their way down in order, what you're going to find is it's going to build on each other. And they don't have to like race through all of this at once. Again, just like we've always talked about before, it's like GPS. So it might be like, okay, start with like the first posting guide one, and then circle back and tell me your three biggest takeaways. You're still the person leading the new person. This is just helping to simplify that process. This kind of gets a little bit more into some content stuff. It's not fun for me to just like read a bunch of words, but you obviously can read, you can check it out. Some additional resources like the Facebook group that I'm showing you, like the boards app, like Telegram, the landing page, the email link from corporate, all right here. So we've put everything here. And then what we've basically done, talks about getting paid. So the long and short of it is every single resource that you are going to need as a brand partner is right here. Just keep working your way down and everything is going to be here. So that's the biggest thing that I want you guys to take from this. Let me go back to the main page for a second. But like it was already mentioned, Jamie is going to be recording a video soon that's going to be on Zoom that we're going to share out that will have a more in-depth overview of the board. This is what the board looks like. I'll let her kind of go deeper into that part of it. But what I want to just share is that this board works in conjunction with those guides. A lot of the content, most of the content in the guides is also inside of these boards. But what's at the very, very top is what you're going to need the most. Like that top left is what you're needing to get people information to arm you. So that's super, super important. Let me look at my notes to make sure I'm not missing anything before I move on. Okay, I think I hit on all of that. So like I said, she'll go a little more in depth. Personally, everyone might be doing this different. For our team, we have our team using this board. Now we still have our team board for certain things, but we're pretty much all in on this board. Like we're locked arms with all these leaders doing this. What's been put together here is really comprehensive, and we just don't want confusion because at least for us, we are like all in with the Gut Collective. And I understand everyone's doing it a little bit differently. So just follow your leader, whatever that looks like. But for us, this has worked really, really well in conjunction with the guides that are in the Facebook group that I just shared. And then one other quick thing. I know for many of you, this is the Telegram. When you open up Telegram, you would just click on the Gut Collective Club, just like this. Couple things to know. As Lacey mentioned, and I'll just reiterate, this is not a place for questions. This is not a place for like random comments. This is literally only for us to share content. So if you have a post that you've done that's performing well, we want to see it. We want to collaborate about it. If you have a story like Chuck's right here, share it. Put it onto the graphic, share it in here. If it's on another graphic, that's fine too. I do think that there's something to say for having it on these same graphics from a branding standpoint and a marketing standpoint. But that's what's being shared in here. So far, we've shared some stuff. Stay tuned. There's going to be a whole lot more stuff that's going to start to be shared in here. And just know you're welcome to share in here. We just want to make sure that it's specific to content and stories. And if you have questions and stuff, go back to your personal coach, talk with them. They're there as a resource to be able to help. We just want to keep the integrity of the Telegram to make this a super, super effective tool. And already what I've noticed is people are pulling content from here and they're then using it on their own social media. And that's exactly what the point of this was from the jump. Did you want to jump in, Cala? It looks like you maybe wanted to.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Why don't you just scroll a little bit on there so people can kind of see what there's so much value in here already. It's pretty unbelievable. And Maddie had said, I was, messaging her on the side and she's like, oh my gosh. She said, first of all, Michael's killing it. And it's just amazing what you're reiterating, that this is about keeping it simple, having a place. It's always about pointing at tools. People, even if people have questions, you could go into the Facebook group and take exactly what it is and send that into their messenger. You can tag them there, of course, but you're going to be able to just be pointing back at it, because the key to being successful in this industry is keeping it simple and duplicating. So the fact that this is also comprehensive, that, when you join the Telegram, and you guys saw when Michael was going through the Gut Collective guides, that there's all the links right there on how to join. So it's going to be very simple, very seamless, and very easy. And I think you're done, so we can probably get back up here,
Oh,
right?
hold on one second, because one thing I want to just you guys, because I know this is going to come up. Okay, now someone has shared this graphic. You might be like, or maybe better yet, someone shared this and now you're like, I want it. So there's a couple different ways that you can save this. My favorite way though is just long press. So hold your finger on the image. You're going to long press. You can't see me holding my finger on it, but that's what I'm doing right now. You're going to notice it says save image, and you're just going to click save image, and it's saved right into your camera roll that's on your phone. Just a quick suggestion. One of the things that I've done is I created a folder in my photos on my personal cell phone. And every time I'm saving these, I'm taking the time to move them into that folder now. I'm not waiting until we have 150 of them. I'm doing it now, and I'm going to get that routine down so that I am armed with so many freaking stories. And as we start seeing the business stories roll out, which I know we're about to start seeing them, same thing. I'm going to, put them into that same album, or maybe I'll even create a separate one to be able to compile them. But I just wanted to kind of show that because it's so simple. And by the way, if someone shares a video or content that can be made into a reel, it's the same thing. Hold your finger on the image or on the video, long press, a menu is going to pop up that will say save video, and you can save it and it goes right into your camera roll, so that again, you are armed to be able to potentially use that on your social.
Perfect. Well, I love it. So Maddie, I don't know if you can bring us back up or what we have to do to.
Oh, hold on. I'm going to stop the sharing.
To close this out, Michael, amazing. I think everybody, hopefully you can see me. My phone is now telling me it's dying. So you guys, the gut check is the big deal. Like, make sure that your people are doing that before. I even think it's a tool when you're talking to people. to help guide them through what are you really feeling. And doing the 135, the 137 is awesome because it's like a lot of things they may see right away. But the truth is that they're going to notice a lot of these things. And I will also say this, that people that have had a lot of autoimmune, been on a lot of antibiotics and things like that, it's like you might have to walk them through a little bit, with that. But the truth is, if they're having issues, this is what I really want to highlight. If they are having issues, it's more important that they're on the product. That means that they are actually kind of in a critical health place that they may not even know. I do want to put that out there. The other thing is that we're not seeing up there yet is I totally see that we're going to have people coming in, we'll be saying 1, 2, or 3 gut collectives, and we will be having a lot of, and if people got started with 3, which is business minded, if you end up there, that's a 525. I'm just going to say that everybody would love to have the 525. A lot of the reason why people don't share a lot of times is because with their own product is they're sitting here, oh, I'm trying to save things out. Once again, if people commit to the long term, which we are talking about, you're going to be on this for 90 days, right? We want you to have the things that you need. And we also want you to be able to share. And we also want you to have something that you can give to somebody right away to get started themselves. So, I want people to start. I'm going to massage this in. I'm planting a lot of seeds. It's like people need to be, do you have someone else? Then if it's a big one, it's like, oh, just getting started with one is something. But they're going to be thinking, who's in my household? And do I want to do this as a business? And I want to be able to share it. So use, sell, sample, rotate. That is what we'll be doing with that. And then the cool thing, guys, is now our replicated sites. It's like, it's great for us to know how to make the link. But the truth is now you can send your replicated site and you just say, go to the top right and hit the buy button. And the very first thing that happens there is the Gut Collective. It's right there. So as far as simple duplication, it's going to make it so much easier for brand new people to be able to, this is your link. And now, you're going to be able to use that link. I think that's all that I had written down, but I love all the points. I love how clean and clear and everything that you guys have made this. I love how clean and clear that you've explained all this and shown it, the show and tell. So people really understand the meat of all that's in there. And we're getting ready to take some major land. I know that for a fact. And it's crazy what is already happening with people. And I just love it because it's, it's simple's the best way to go, and pointing at tools is what you want to do to leverage yourself and leverage your time, because we need to get busy, positive, successful people right here and make that list and just decide, I am going to be going for the people that you maybe in the past were, the ones that were, what is it called? Your chicken list. It's like now the chicken list, I think, is going away. And then we'll end up having to do a little bit on samples. But thank you so much, Michael. It was phenomenal, and I knew it would be. And of course, there's always a little bit of trouble going along with it. But I was sitting here going, oh, well, maybe this is because it's going to get made into a YouTube. So we have some things that we can take offline and sell what we have.
Do you care if I
Sell
share
the
a final
simplicity.
thought really quick before we hop off?
Yes, absolutely.
So I love that you kind of hit a little bit on almost setting people up with realistic expectations. And I wanted to just hit on that from a business standpoint. I know that we're hearing a lot of stories of people that have begun this approach and are having insane results, like crazy amounts of signups and crazy amount of reorders and crazy amounts of people coming back. But I just want to also set a realistic expectation. Not everyone's going to experience that. You have to think long game, and you're building trust with an audience. So if all of a sudden you just swung the pendulum a completely different direction, and now you're going with a different approach, I think it's really important to understand that now being bold and showing up consistent is crucial, and understand that your consistency will pay dividends later. It takes time to build up momentum, and it takes time to build trust with people. And if they've been watching you talk about 8-day jump starts and meal plans and different things, and all of a sudden you're talking about something so different, it might take a second, and that's okay. So don't give up if all of a sudden after like a week or two, you're feeling like the results that you're getting aren't what you're seeing around you. I just caution you to just stay the course. And like there's an energy that's happening right now. I was just sharing with these guys before we hopped on here. We have a lot of customers circling back. We have builders that are circling back, or at least sniffing around right now to circle back. There are people watching what's happening. They're feeling the energy, they're feeling the excitement. And the reality is, I know that it's really easy to get distracted and give reasons every single month why you can't show up for your business. Thanksgiving's around the corner, and then I have holiday parties, and then I have to get ready for the holidays, and then it's New Year's, and then it's like we're going on vacation, and it's always a million different things. And so, and let me tell you, I have plenty of those things. I start off my day at a hospital today. I'm okay, but like it's just, I have a lot going on, but I'm also showing up online in a more bold, passionate way because I believe in what we're doing. And I believe in order for us to attract high caliber people, it is time for us to turn up the volume, think long term, and realize that it's going to take some time for us to build up momentum. It doesn't happen overnight. But when it starts to happen, it's pretty freaking exciting. And what's about to happen, I can feel it. I was telling Maddie, I feel like in the last few weeks, I have a sense of hope and vision that I haven't had this clear in about 2 years. And the collaboration of everyone who's come together to do this has been feeding that for me. And again, it's a crazy, crazy time in the world, and crazy time for so many of us personally. So just set those realistic expectations and just follow the system. Do not reinvent the wheel. A lot of time has gone into this, a lot of thought process. And certainly reach out to your leader if you're following this and you're like, oh my gosh, I have an idea. Like we always want to hear feedback, because there's a people in this field, it doesn't matter what title they hold, whether they're brand new or they've been here for 12 years, that bring value to this community. And we want to make sure that we are bringing every single person's mind to the table and collaborating, because the only way that we become $1 billion brand is by locking arms together and moving as one. So that was kind of on my heart, and I just felt like I needed to share that because it's been an incredible few weeks, and I am super excited to see the business stories. The product stories are exciting, but I can't wait to see the business stories that start to happen, because the big duplication energy is coming. It's coming, and this is what's going to set the groundwork for all of it, to see the biggest wave of momentum we've ever experienced in our company's history.
I love that $1 billion brand. I love that. And you're right, you guys, this is a deal. It's just like the farmer story. It's the seeds. You know what? It takes time. And do you want to have a little packet of seeds? Do you want to have a giant bag of seeds? And no, just like you said, it's like it's 30, 60, 90. You're really, whatever you're doing today is really going to start showing up in 90 days. And I was just talking to Josie, I don't know who she was listening to, but she was like, they talk about how people get to the 90 days and things start to happen, and then they stop doing what they were doing in the beginning. And so it is time for us to press on the gas. And I just want to say two more things. You are looking for well-connected, savvy, well-respected people. So think about that. Who comes to mind? Make your list, literally write it down. And when you're doing your stories, this is what I've been doing. I've been looking, who are the people that, because I've been doing some long things, who are the people both on Facebook, on Instagram, who are actually watching these stories? Because so many people are watching you that you do not know. And like, who is making it all the way and who is consistently watching those? Get those people on a list, and then start, it's time also for us to be moving, putting your foot forward and reaching out to the people. That's going to be key. And then
it's like
and then ask.
dating down. You said like looking for high caliber. It's that same idea. People will say you need to date up, like you need to like find someone better. It's the same kind of idea here. We need to raise our standards and start bringing in high caliber people.
Yes, amen. And then you can even ask them, have you, has something been stirring in you? Have you been, whatever it is, just ask them that question. You've been laid on my heart, because they are. And it's like, has something been stirring in you? Do you have some questions about what I'm doing, or whatever it is? But that's the thing. It's like, ask them, is something stirring him? And there's things stirring in people, because just like what you said, everybody almost every single person, I could say almost 100% have been going through things. There's been so many breakdowns of so much, people falling, everything breaking. And it's like, right now, people are in the squeeze, and Christmas is coming, and we need to make sure that we are the answer. We are top of mind. So thank you so much, Michael. I appreciate you so much. And I think that this is going to really have helped. You're an awesome tour guide. Awesome tour guide. So you guys, let's go for it. $1 billion brand, and let's work together to do it, because it really is about that. We can take so much land if we just, like I said on stage, clasp our shields and move forward. And you're going to be moving forward with favor. That's what I believe. You're moving forward with favor. So thank you guys so much for watching, and let's go take some land. I don't